want to introduce and thank our incredible board. You know, there are a lot of nonprofits have a board that people just go to a meeting twice a year. Ours is like staff. We're talking to them every day. So our board members, we have Tamara Hedges, Bettina Rosemarino, Rob McCann somewhere, David Lottie, and oh, here they are, and Aaron Leiter, who unfortunately couldn't be here, but just an incredible board. So thank you, our board. So many of you have been with us since the very beginning, but there's a lot of you who are new to this organization and new to the work that we do. So what I want to do is I want to give you a little introduction for those of you who don't know, like, what is Oswit Land Trust? Who are these people? Where did they get started? So our organization started in 2016 with a hike. And I would love to know who this woman was who I met on that canyon, because I would love to thank her for what she did. She inspired me. But I was hiking Oswit Canyon, taking a look at how gorgeous it was, and this woman said, yeah, enjoy it now because it's all going to be destroyed. I could not wrap my head around that. And I had never done anything with land conservation, but it didn't make sense. So I quickly got home, got up to speed on what was happening, went to the city, started getting out a lot of you together, and we joined together and we started a campaign called Save Oswit Canyon. And for 4 years, yes, and for 4 years we had a motto: not one shovel, not one house, more sheep, less sprawl, and we wouldn't give up. And after a 4-year battle with city initiative, a hard-hitting legal fight, and lots of meetings, in October of 2020, we purchased Oswit Canyon, and it is forever safe, forever generations, and that was our big celebration. And what happened was, and we got to the end of saving Oswit Canyon, I started thinking, you don't have to look too far to realize that land is disappearing at an alarming rate. And I didn't have to look too far to see that this is a community that comes together when we really need to come together. And so I realized that there's a real need for us to not just stop with just one canyon, but to continue and get these special places and put them in conservation for us, for future generations, for future generations of wildlife. And so we then, at that point, we decided we were going to become Oswit Land Trust. And 2 years ago, right when we closed on Oswit Canyon, we launched Oswit Land Trust. And what we do, we have a very strategic mission. Number one, we save land. Someone says, what does Oswit Land Trust do? We save land. But we save very strategic land. We save land that is threatened with destruction, but is so important that we need to save it. And Oswit Canyon is a perfect example. We focus on land that is like wildlife corridors, or next to protected land, or has endangered species on it. It's not just a little dirt lot somewhere that they should build on, but we save ones that are very important. So last year, we were here, and so much has happened. We came out for our party last year to celebrate saving Oswit Canyon. And if you remember at that party, I mentioned that, oh, we have so much in store for you. I can't wait to tell you. How many people were here last year by show of hands? Okay, so you remember. Well, what we were going to share with you has actually gotten like 4 times over what we were just going to share with you a year ago. So we have had a spectacular year. Let me tell you some of the things we've done in 1 year. Number one, we hired 3 unbelievable staff members. Unbelievable. We have the pleasure of having David Paisley, who put this whole event together, our community development outreach. Another Paisley, you have to have the name Paisley in your name if you want to work here. We have Paisley Ramstead, our staff biologist, who writes plans for us and our everything woman. And we have a full-time conservation ranger, Scott Collins, who's not here. He's checking out our properties, and he's also a wildlife photographer. So we love our 3 staff is just incredible, and we're just gearing up. The other thing that we've done in the last year was we've instituted a program where every single planning commission agenda, city council agenda, for every city, all 9 cities in the Coachella Valley and the county of Riverside get read every single week, because we want to make sure we can jump into action when we hear about a surf park, for example, being built in the desert. Or let's say the one that we're looking at right now that Westman wants to build right here above the mesa where the old water tank is, and we're like, not so fast. There are sheep up there. So we have that program to make sure that we can jump on situations that come up like that. Now, let me tell you amazing stuff that we did this year. Starting with number 1, there's a piece of property at the end of Mesquite Avenue. It sits between the Parkview Trailer Park and the mountain. That property is called Mesquite Ridge. Another one I found when I was hiking. I don't know if I should go hiking anymore, but this big for sale sign was there, and I thought, oh no, this cannot happen. And so we worked on that for 2 years, and it's an important piece of land because wildlife love it. It's just a little slice of heaven there, but the public really loves it. A half a mile of the South Lickin hiking trail goes through that property. That property was slated to become a hotel or 95 high-end condos. We would have lost access to that hiking trail. So we jumped into action, and this year we closed on that, and we own that property right now. The second one is something that my good friend, I hope he's here, Jim with CDMC, came to us about 2 years ago and said, there's a piece of land, we've been trying to get it into conservation for like 30 years. Do you want to give it a shot? And of course, I love a challenge, so I'm like, yeah, we'll take it on. And what it was is nearly 4,000 acres above the Rimrock Shopping Center where Vons is. Many people didn't know, but that was slated to become thousands of houses, a golf course, a hotel, and thanks to some of you who are here tonight who started that fight many, many years ago, we were so happy to finish that fight, and we bought that property, and that property is forever safe. So that was another one that was just amazing. And then the third one, it all comes, they say good thing comes in threes, right? This was a year of threes for sure. You may remember a year ago at this party, I pointed out one of our special donors and my good friend Brad Prescott. I don't know where he is. He's around here somewhere. There he is, my friend Brad. And I said, oh, Brad and I were working on like a secret project. And, people kept saying, well, just tell me. I won't tell anyone. So some of you know that how it got started is Brad and I, a couple years ago, we went for a bike ride. He calls it the most expensive bike ride he's ever been on. I call it the best bike ride I've ever been on. But we went for a bike ride, and I wanted to show him a vision that I had of taking failing golf courses and creating something really beautiful, a nature preserve there. So we went for a bike ride, and we were over by the defunct Bel Air Greens, and he turned to me and he said, why don't you buy this? And I said, well, it's really complicated. I don't know if we can get grants because it's all these different owners. And he turned to me and he said, well, I could buy it for you. I was like, don't tease. I'm telling you, you will learn. I will drive you crazy. And he said, no, I will buy it for you. And as many of you know, if you were paying here in August or watch our social media, we had a big announcement in August where Brad said, Bel Air Greens was complicated, and I got so ticked off that I couldn't buy Bel Air Greens that I bought Mesquite Golf Course instead. And we bought the Mesquite Golf Course, and we are creating the Prescott Preserve in honor and in thanks of an enormous gift that he gave to us in our community. And I thank him publicly for that, Brad. And Prescott Preserve, for those of you who don't know, it's so needed in this community. All those properties that I mentioned, many people, the ones that we bought, they're important.